Welcome to the Inspired Valley Podcast, where we share the inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help you unlock your full potential and achieve personal growth. At Inspired Valley, we believe that everyone has the power to create a life they love, and our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and support you need to make it happen. So join us on this journey of self discovery and personal growth, and let's inspire each other to become the best version of ourselves. Hi everyone, this side Gulshan Memoria. You're welcome to the very first episode of our podcast, the Inspired Valley Podcast, where we invite the startup founders and we discuss about their journey and everything. So this time that we have with us is Miss Nikita. She is the founder of Winston, which manufactures the beauty appliances. Recently, they've been appeared on Shark Tank, and luckily they have secured a deal as well. So let's hear it out from Nikita. Nikita, can you give us more detail about this company, which you have started and why you have started?
Okay, so hi Gulshan and hi everybody out there. Definitely thank you so much for the warm welcome that you've given. And yeah, I'll tell you more about Winston. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been over a year that we found this company, Winston. And honestly, the story goes back to me, having a small Instagram setup in the year
Mm-hmm.
2030, wherein we were dealing with these international brands and selling other brands basically, which were not available in
Okay.
India. And then
Mm-hmm.
quickly, not so quickly actually, after 2 3 years, I realized that if we have built this strong Instagram community wherein people are trusting us and purchasing from us, why not build our own brand? Is exactly when I saw the opportunity, and we came up with our own skincare brand called Milagro Beauty in the year
Okay.
2018. Correct.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
I got married in 2020, and immediately after that, everybody knows that the pandemic hit us. And
Mm-hmm.
in that pandemic, the world got so, because the first wave, nobody really knew what was happening and how
Exactly.
what is exactly the cause and what is the solution. Everybody was unaware to the whole situation basically, and everybody kind
Mm-hmm.
of utilized that time to process what is happening with themselves, like their skin. Self-care kind of became like an importance in the world, like they started giving time to themselves, to their health, and spending time with the families. And that is when we realized that how important the skincare process is, that even when the salons are not open,
Exactly.
people still want
Mm-hmm.
to take care of themselves, and
Of
in a
course.
in a better way, like thinking about the ways that that they were not thinking before, like what is happening. And of course, a great thanks to the social media, wherein all the creators were also educating the audience that they have about
Mm.
more and more
Mm-hmm.
importance of healthcare, skincare, the overall health of a human body actually. So yeah, that is when we saw that the Instagram page that we had, they had a product which was about face trimming. And we kind of grabbed that opportunity, and me and Himanshu, we were talking that I have the expertise of D2C, and you having the background of electronics, actually a three generation wherein you know the entire process in and out of this electronic thing. Why not have a hybrid of this and come up with a beauty electronic device which is a face trimmer? And I think
Okay.
everything was kind of set for us. Like, we had the platform, we had the community, the education was happening, the need was the apt time when we had to launch the
Mm-hmm.
product. Like, everybody wanted something, a replacement to salon basically. And I think that
Okay.
is what helped us, like right time, right product, right market. And yeah, that is how Winston was born in the first month after our marriage. So yes.
So this is your first baby.
Right, correct.
And Nikita, that's a wonderful thing. Okay, you told that okay, your husband has an you can say background in D2C, and you have a
Right,
strong background in these electronic gadgets. That's
right.
wonderful. Nikita, can you give us more details about your background? You can say your experience with the Shark Tank, then how you approach the Shark Tank founders, the Shark Tank judges, or the Shark Tank initiative. How the things that idea generated in your mind.
So in the first season only, when we were watching Shark Tank, we were,
Hmm.
very, very optimistic, and we saw ourselves, like we had this vision that even our brand is supposed to go there, like that is the goal. But somewhere down the line, we were like, it's not even been a year that will the sharks be interested in a brand like this? Because
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
everybody has those thoughts in mind, like should we go for it, should we not? And just during the end phase, we thought, okay, like it's just 1 week left for the applications, and we should just go for it. And that's what we did. During the end, we applied for it, and we got selected. We got a call from the sharks, like the Sony
Hmm.
TV
Hmm.
basically. And honestly, it's a
Hmm.
very long process. It's not really what is shown on TV, like you apply and you're
Hmm.
selected and you're there live.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there are
Hmm.
about 5 to 6 rounds that happen. So first is the
Okay.
paperwork, correct? So first they ask for, like, the first is the form submission, which is also a very,
Hmm.
very detailed version of the submission. They would ask everything: your team size, your revenue, I think about 15 pages of everything. How many partners are there, what's the equity split, what is the cap table. So like a lot of things that a startup also starts to wonder, ye pucha kya hai, because in a startup you are not really familiar with these terms.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unless
Exactly.
unless you've already worked with a brand, or you work for a startup, these terms sound like, okay, what are they asking, like should we know? Because some things are not even applicable to your brand, but you start studying
Hmm.
about those terminologies, like is it even applicable to our brand? So a detailed version in the form that they ask for. And just one second. Correct. So this is one, and after submitting that, there's a round that the Sony TV people call you, and they take an interview for us. And surprisingly, for Himanshu and I, this was our life's first interview ever that we gave, and this
And
happened
this is
on.
we're talking about the virtual interview. You don't have to go to Mumbai for this interview, or this is a
Uh, no,
this
no.
is a
So
virtual one.
this is a virtual one. First is a virtual
Okay.
one, and they also call you to a place. Then, depending on the location that you are in, the next round is
Hmm.
then in person. You have to visit a place. For example, for us, it was Dwarka because we are Delhi based. So we had to go
Okay.
there, and every interview is actually very nervous. Like first pitch, you send your pitch to them, to the sharks, and you don't know who's really watching that, and what are you
Hmm.
exactly supposed to say in that. Are you supposed to tell everything about your business? Are you supposed to keep some secrets with
Hmm.
you, and you do not want to reveal it now but reveal it at the end stage? Because as a startup,
Hmm.
you are very hesitant about telling what your cost is, and you have to be really prepared to tell it, not just to the sharks but to the audience who's watching, because it
Exactly.
might leave an
Exactly.
impact. If the cost is so less, why is the audience paying so much? It can be like,
Hmm.
everything has a pro and con. So you are really hesitant that in the first pitch ever that you're sending, what do you
Hmm.
need to
Hmm.
tell to them, and what do you need to hide from them?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's small rounds and then detailed paperwork. I think till now the paperwork is going on, so I think it's a never ending process. But one thing I would like to say is that you cannot fool them with anything, because their
Hmm.
process is more deeper than what you
Foolproof.
can think of. You will not believe that the questions they asked us in the tank. Firstly, we thought that as the audience watches, it's just a 15-minute show that happens. It is not true.
Exactly.
You are inside for about 1 to 2 hours, and they would ask every possible question from you, about you as an individual, about your family background, about the business that you are doing, why you are not doing something else and only this. So they go really, they deep dive into your business and you, and only after that they decide what business they want to invest in. It's not a 5 or 10 minute thing that the nation watches. It's a lot more than that.
This is what I was wondering because I
Yes.
mean, as an audience, we think that okay, now this is something they'd only ask few questions, and it's like cakewalk for every entrepreneur. They just go and tell something about their business, and they come back with a deal.
Not at all, not at all.
Exactly.
It's very, very I would say, like, you are put in a spot. You really don't know,
Hmm.
like, like, And also, it's not really as smooth as it seems on the TV. So if, for
Hmm.
example, one shark would ask you a question simultaneously, four different sharks with four different questions, so you don't know, like it's a back and forth thing. You don't know, you want to answer the first shark first, or you want to answer the last person first, or is it you want to
Hmm.
answer the negative point which has been asked out to cover that up. So you are really in a spot and you have to think very wisely. And fortunately for us, I think this is a plan that we followed. I would like to tell to the fellow audience who's, are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
there?
Please go on, go on.
So
Yeah,
I would
I'm
like
I'm
to
here
tell it
only.
to the fellow audience who is, wanting to participate in Shark Tank, because it was Himanshu
Hmm.
and I, so like two brains. When Himanshu was answering one question, meanwhile, I was thinking about what the other sharks had put up, like what the questions they have put up, and I was thinking what to answer. So before the sharks could answer their next question, I made sure that right after Himanshu finishes, I'm going to answer each shark whatever they had asked, so that there's no query in
Hmm.
the shark's mind also. But hats off to the people who go in alone. Like I think we were super scared from the moment we stepped in. So anybody who goes alone, I mean, guts, like, super difficult, like in front of the sharks. And you know that it's not just the sharks
Hmm.
but the entire audience who's watching. And every minute that you're inside, you don't know what is going to be aired. So you have to make that every minute count. Sony basically charges like 1 cr for an ad. So for us, we had to make sure that if we are inside the tank for whatever minute our episode is aired, we
Hmm.
need to make sure that we are connecting with the audience as our customer. They should feel
Hmm.
that what the brain behind the brand is, like what is the founder thinking about the brand. So we had to make sure of everything and not to waste time with any other talk that is happening in the tank. So yes, that was the plan.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm sure that you guys have must have prepared really well.
Right, right,
I
right.
mean, before going to this,
Yeah.
Nikita, one more question that I want to ask you:
Uh-huh.
that do you really wanted, like, you always wanted to become an entrepreneur? Like, how the journey started? I mean, back in school days, back in college days, you always wanted to become an entrepreneur, or is just the starting that you, after your marriage, okay, you thought that okay, this is an opportunity came into your mind, and that's how you started it? Again, I just want to deep dive in your thought process.
Of course, absolutely. So, you are right. From the school time only, in the school, I learned this word entrepreneurship, okay? And this is such a heavy word, So, like, I'm talking about like 14, 15 years back is when I first,
Hmm.
when I first got to know about this word. And I was like, what is this, entrepreneur? And I really, once, like, our principal was talking about it, and, that should be what you want to do. And it sounded so interesting. I don't
Hmm.
know, it might not seem true, but in that very moment, I felt like, I want to be an entrepreneur and this is what I want to make my life all about. And that is when I decided I'm not going to do any job. And, for
Hmm.
every girl, father is kind of their role model. So
Exactly.
being from a family business, I saw my dad also having his own business. So, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I told my dad the very same day that, I don't want to do any job. So my sister
Hmm.
was that time, with the corporate world. I said, no, no, I don't like this. It does not really seem nice to me. And I want to be an entrepreneur. And I think from that very day, right after I completed my college, within the span of one
Hmm.
year only, I started
Hmm.
this business of online selling, where Instagram was not so
Hmm.
popular then, like 2013 I'm talking about. Nobody knew how to
Okay.
sell cosmetics. There was no Nika, or even if it was there, I don't know if it's that popular or not. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think I just kind of manifested what I wanted to do, and
Hmm.
since then the journey is like leading me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Nikita, since that you were already into the business quite long time, I'm sure that you
Mhm.
must have faced a lot of challenges, right? Some
Absolutely.
groundbreaking challenges. So can you tell some challenges that you have faced in your journey so far and how you have overcome, so that the fellow entrepreneurs can relate to your journey and the challenges, the real challenges I'm talking about?
Right. So the first one comes in when I started working, I thought I'm going to do everything and I'm going to do it my way.
Hmm.
That's how I think every startup
Hmm.
feels, because you feel so passionate about your work. You feel that you're the only one who can do it in your own particular way.
Hmm.
You do not
Hmm.
feel like even though you want to keep the team, you do not feel like delegating a lot of work to them. And even when you
Hmm.
delegate, you make sure that you are kind of poking what they are doing and how they are doing. You don't
Exactly.
actually give them space to do. I think this is a very big challenge that I faced initially. Like,
Hmm.
this is how it's to be done, or even if after aligning them, I wanted to make sure that everything goes through me. And just over investing myself into the work, like working day and night. And this is what hard work meant, uh,
Hmm.
like giving your entire brain to everything. Although still you have to give your entire brain, but I think just understanding the importance of team and delegating work is the core of building your brand. Because they say, like, teamwork brings the big brains. And so I think this is what every
Totally.
entrepreneur needs to kind of understand, especially in the initial phase. Like, you have to focus a lot, not just to the customer but also to the team that you are building, because that is
Hmm.
eventually it's the teamwork that goes to the customer. So I think this is what I've learned, the major learning which I learned in the first business phase, and then of course applied to the coming ones. Like, and Winston, I think we are very lucky that in the very first year, all those learnings that me and Himanshu had been applied in the brand. And that is
Hmm.
how in a short phase we were able to present our business in front of the sharks, and they had the confidence of
Hmm.
the founders, that basically they bet on the founders, and they kind of knew that जो भी challenges the startup face, we've already gone through that. So we were not
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
really in that phase that like initial phase may you feel like how we are going to overcome the logistics, how we are going to overcome the finances. So I think that was
Hmm.
kind of sorted for Winston because of the already planned journey that we had come through,
Hmm.
like the experiences that we brought on the table. So yes, that's about it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But suppose, I mean, let's take a hypothetical example. Still, you
Of course.
face some challenges and you feel that, okay, I'm not able to solve this challenge. So, how you cope up with that phase wherein, like, this is a major challenge and I'm not able to cope up with this thing. So, how
Mhm.
you deal with this? Because I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs, including me as well, because the challenge which you were talking about before, I thought that I was the only one which was facing this challenge, wherein that
Mhm.
I had to make sure that everything is on in the exact space or time. Okay, so
Right.
how you face those challenges?
So I'll there are two things. Okay, so I'll tell you the problem that I had, this problem which you just mentioned about. So how I overcome this, that so I think only in your absence, you need to give space, like you need to set it free and see that what is happening in your absence. And what
Hmm.
if the outcome is better, you know
Hmm.
because a team can bring in, your brain cannot function for 10 people at a time, correct?
Hmm.
So you need to allow that space, and things come right in their own time. Let the brains grow, and after you give them a particular space, and you are absent at a particular place, and then
Hmm.
maybe of course you can fit your brain somewhere else, because
Hmm.
in a startup there are so many things which are happening, and it's like a countless. Even today, like we are learning about so many new things, and we could not have learned those and gained those information unless we had set our minds free from the small jobs that I'm talking about, the small
Exactly.
operational jobs. So I think
Hmm.
not only do you have to give space to other people, but also utilize your mind in the expansion phase, which will help you grow and
Exactly.
make you understand that uh, maybe like you being the founder and understanding the business better, you need to think about better things and the expansion of the business, versus occupying yourselves in the operational and the small tasks. So I think
Hmm.
once you see the growth happening, then you not do not really focus upon the small challenges that are happening in your work.
Hmm.
So this
Because
is one.
ultimately you have less time. I believe ultimately you have less time, and you need to
Correct.
make sure that where, as a founder, where you're investing your time.
Correct. And it's also about a choice that you are making. Of course you can invest yourself in the tiny everyday matters of the business, but then your business growth is going to be at a slower pace. You can be
Hmm.
everywhere, it is true, but you need to decide, you want to grow faster or you want to grow at a slower pace, but investing your mind in everything. And I'm sure like everybody wants to grow faster. For that,
Hmm.
every aspect in your business needs to grow, like your team needs to grow, your brand needs to grow, the back end team needs to grow. So it's a lot of things for growth. Your mind should grow first, so it's like that. You need to delegate to and make your mind feel present out there in other sources. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think this is one. Unless you
That's a
do
great
that, you
insight.
will. Hmm, right.
So you have to be in that phase, in order to feel, in order to, you can say, work for those challenges. That's
Yes,
great. That's
because
great.
you are also kind of challenging yourself and your brain, like what exactly brings you the output is exactly where you
Hmm,
put your
hmm, hmm.
brains into. Right.
Nikita, what are the major one major challenge with the D2C brand? I mean, especially with your Winston brand, which is the major challenge which you're facing right now?
So for the brand Winston, I would say that a lot of people see these marketplaces and other brands
Hmm.
also available there at a cheaper price. So
Exactly.
of course there's a lot of
Hmm.
heat there in terms of the pricing that we have put for our brand. So definitely that is there. And um because people see that the same product, as the sharks also said, that the same product is available for rupees 500 and we are selling it for say
This is what I
2000.
was wondering.
So
Hmm.
hmm, so why would a customer want to invest 2000 versus a 500?
Five
But
hundred. Yes.
how we have overcome this problem, luckily with the D2C phase growing, the audience has
Hmm.
become really really smart. Of course the competitiveness is
Hmm.
there, but more and more brand as more and more brands are coming, the audience is becoming smarter. They want to educate
Exactly.
themselves before purchasing a product. So they would like to
Hmm.
see if somebody is offering 500 rupees the product versus somebody offering a 2000 rupees the product. They would like to see
Hmm.
what the USPs of the brand and of the product is. They
Hmm.
want to know about the product before buying it. Pehle hota tha, somebody said, okay, this is the brand, this product is good, just buy it. But now the audience
Hmm.
is really smart. They want to understand what is the pricing behind the brand.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
What am
Hmm.
I getting, what are the after sale services that I'm benefiting out of. you know
Exactly.
so they want to know that if I'm purchasing an electronic product, am I getting a service which I'm not getting in the other brand, which is of a cheaper quality and a cheaper price. Like, will I be
Hmm.
able
Hmm.
to contact somebody in case there is a problem in the product, because that's really
Hmm. Hmm.
important.
Hmm.
And we offer
Exactly.
1 year doorstep service, like a replacement policy is
Hmm.
there in our brand, which is a huge thing. And not everybody offers it. And in the industry that I've worked in, I have not seen brands doing it. And it's a very
Hmm.
important factor for somebody who knows the quality of the product. Only then will the brand be able to offer the same function. So yeah, I think the audience educating themselves and the brand educating the audience is very important for
Exactly.
us in this category that we have chosen.
Hmm.
That
Hmm. Hmm.
what benefits are we offering at this price. And then of course the customer knows that what is a brand basically. So you know uh, it's not just the product, it's about the service, the team, and a lot of other things that are connected is what makes you a brand, not just the product which qualifies you being a brand.
Hmm. That's wonderful. Acha, Nikita, one more question. As you've got the funds, you secure the funding as well. I'm sure that you are doing a lot of good sales as well. So, what are your
Right,
plans for the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself? I mean, this is not a normal interview question. But again,
right, right,
this is a very genuine question. I mean, because a lot of people, I'm definitely the D2C market are going to grow exponentially, right, in the coming
right,
years.
right.
So, I mean, are you only, I mean, fine with all the SKUs which you have right now, or you are planning to bring in more SKUs in the future?
uh, so Gulshan, having the SQs is not really the focus, like whether you want more SQs or less SQs. It is about first excelling in whatever SKUs we have at present. A lot of people ask us, do you want to go offline also? Do you want to expand
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
number of
Hmm.
products that you have in your own business? So this is what
Hmm.
I tell everybody. First, what we want to do is we want to, focus on whatever SKUs that we have right now, make our
Okay.
placement strong with the existing SKUs in the existing market that we have. And then if the customers, customer is the king, which is so apt, and if the customers want us to have more and more SKUs, is what their demand is. In a
Hmm.
small startup, this is a very big plus point, that we can listen to the customer, and it's a very lean
Hmm.
process that we can easily bring in that product as soon as the
Hmm.
product is demanded by the customer. So whenever the
Hmm. Hmm.
customer
Hmm.
needs a particular kind of a product, we make sure that we have it. For example, we had a product which was a face trimmer, and then we had one which was an eyebrow trimmer. And then we understood,
Okay.
yeah, there are two top selling products. Why not
Hmm.
make a product which has a replacement head? So the customer gets both the products, hot selling products, in one single product. So before any other
Okay.
brand could beat us, why should not we beat our own product and bring something in the market which is needed by the customer, which is the space that, we know that this is what the community wants, and have that product in the market. And then now
Hmm.
that is our hot selling product. So the focus is not really having more SKUs, the focus is actually on what the customer really wants. That is
Hmm.
the game. And also understanding that if online is working good for us, then unnecessarily we should not jump into the offline market, unless we have a
Hmm.
strong hold on the online market. And there is
Hmm.
huge
Hmm. Hmm.
scope with the online main itself, that we do not
Of
really
course,
want to
yes.
focus on, yes, we do not really want to focus on offline right now. Maybe that is the future, right? Once we have everything streamlined, like, uh, our hold is strong enough in the marketplaces, after that of course we can
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
about
Hmm.
offline. But as a startup, your focus should not be so vast that you're not able to put your brain in one thing. As I
Hmm.
mentioned, that focus is
Hmm.
what will lead you to a faster growth. So yes, focusing right now on online and the limited SKUs that we have, making the marketplace and the stronghold basically, and then moving forward to
Hmm.
whatever is needed.
Mm-hmm. So, Nikita, one following question. So, how would you get to this conclusion wherein, okay, now this is the product that we want to launch in, and this is something the customer want? Because I have seen, personally, I've interacted with a lot of startup founders. What they do, I mean, they first launch the product, then they ask the customers, okay, now this is the product that, okay, that we are offering. So, how
Mhm.
you launch any product? Because this is a crucial thing, I believe. You also agree with this thing. So you have
Absolutely.
prior base set of customers, I mean, where you ask the questions and you have some interaction, and before jumping into the conclusion. Yes.
Of course, and I think social media is a huge
Hmm.
platform which helps us in deciding that what is the kind of product that we want to launch, because we listen to
Hmm.
the customers very carefully. As I mentioned about the two-in-one product that we launched, your customer will eventually tell you what is the product that they are looking for. And but you need not ignore that, because your customers give you the kind of feedback which nobody else will be able to provide you. No matter how strong your team is, no matter what brains you put into building a product, जो कस्टमर का एंड यूज करने के बाद फीडबैक होता है, वी नेवर
Hmm.
एवर
Hmm.
इग्नोर
Hmm.
दैट एज अ ब्रांड, whether they want a particular change in the color or the finish of the product. We make sure that the next batch aa raha hai, we are not ignoring what the customer is wanting to have.
Hmm.
Even if they want us to have a particular kind of price range, for example, if somebody tells us that this is the product which I really want to have, and but the price range is really high, we listen to them. We
Hmm.
also make sure that we are having the same product in a lower range, maybe giving a lesser benefits to the customer, maybe like changing some features, and giving less features, but at least making the basic model available to them at a lesser price, so that they know that okay,
Hmm.
this is the a model which has this number of features, and the next one is going to have x number of features plus some additional
Hmm.
features.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
listening to the customer is very very important, I would say. And yeah, they only tell us honestly like what is the product which they demand. And we get a lot of support from the team who has already worked in the e-commerce platforms, and they also guide us that what is hot selling on what channel and what the other
Hmm.
brands are selling. It is very important to also keep an eye on what your competitor brands are doing. The
Exactly.
entire marketplace, you need to know ki, um, what is the scope, like what other brands are doing. You should
Hmm.
not really ignore them. You should know what they are doing and what is helping them also grow. So
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm.
keeping a
Hmm.
track of them also really helps.
मतलब इन टोटल जो बेस सर्च है, बेस रिसर्च है, वो तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, बट अगेन यू हैव टू इनडायरेक्टली लिसन टू द कस्टमर डिमांड एज वेल, what they are saying, the feedback as well.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. That's great, Nikita. Thank you so much for giving your time. Okay, one last question for you. Can
Yeah.
you give us one advice for the fellow entrepreneurs, those who have not started their business, but those who are thinking to planning to start their career as an entrepreneur, and those who want to start, I mean, on the similar lines? So, one advice from the fellow entrepreneurs.
Actually, there are so many advices, not sure where to begin from. So definitely, like starting from a good vision is important. Like you should know
Hmm.
what you want to do with your business, because like you can have a sustainable business. You can also have investors coming in and keep on burning. So
Hmm.
like you should know like what is the window that you are grabbing in and getting into, because in this space everybody will give you so much guidance. Correct. Like
That's
you will
something.
get confused eventually. You will get to learn about so many things that eventually your vision might get lost in the whole process, because there is no mapped road to the destination. There's it's very different for every entrepreneur, so everybody guides differently. But it's important
Hmm.
for you to know that where you are heading, and also enjoy the journey in the whole process. And
So,
also
you
I
should
would
have a
like
strong vision. Hmm.
you should have a strong vision. And I would like to say what worked for me is that I always make sure to write down what I want on a daily basis, and if not, like on
Hmm.
a monthly basis. You will not believe that when I was in school, I mentioned that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Since then I had written it down somewhere. I had written down what is the the car I wanted to buy, the kind of person I wanted to marry, the business I wanted to do, the figures that I wanted to have for my business. This is not even when I started my business, and it
Hmm.
might sound that maybe I got lucky, also true, but maybe I envisioned it so strongly and I believed in it,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and of course it was a very random, counting the zeros, itne crore mein kitne hote hain, just it was that old that I had written those number of zeros. And uh, I don't even know when and how we achieved it,
Hmm.
but it's the vision and your belief along that vision that gets you where you are. So manifestation is super super strong in the entire process, I would say. And a small incident I would like to share with you.
Please do.
In the tank when we went, if you remember that we had played a music towards the end. There was a
Hmm. Hmm.
music
Hmm.
after we got the deal, and we had told the Sony team that please play this music after we get the deal. And those people were coming to us and asking, okay, Nikita, when you will get the deal, we are going to play this song. I said, repeat after me. Don't say if you are going to get the deal, because that is what they were using. I said, when we will get the deal, you will play this song, because I wanted them also to envision us getting the deal, and
Wonderful
spreading that
advice.
vibration around everywhere. So I think that also helped. Everybody asks me, that what if you did not get the deal? I said, no, there was no plan B for me. It was, I am getting the deal, and what am I going to do after I get the deal was my thought process. Not like, what if
Hmm.
I don't get, what am I going to do? So it's also your thoughts that you put in. It's the seeding that
Hmm.
helps you grow. So that should be strong. That is your actual vision and manifestation that helps you grow. So
It's a wonderful suggestion. Even I
your what
liked your
can
answer. Even I
yeah.
liked your answer in the Shark Tank when Piyush, I believe Piyush asked you कि डर नहीं लगता आपको brand की ये कर रहे हो. Then you give this very branded. I really
So
like that answer. There's nothing to be
Aman,
afraid of.
Aman
Yes.
asked me that, and they did not show a lot of things on air. Piyush was so interested in like both of us. He said that he wants कि हमारा 500 crore का brand बने. In
अच्छा
fact हमारा
बने हाँ
IPO भी निकले. So
अच्छा
even he liked us as founders, but a lot of things were not shown. But you know, hindsight में तो of course every brand would say ऐसा होना चाहिए था, वैसा
एग्जैक्टली
होना चाहिए था. Everything good happened. I would just say this, and we are
हम्म
making very good use of
आपका
whatever.
brand, I mean, your brand Winston is a consumer product, right? I mean, you
Right,
can,
right,
of course, you can आप बाकी areas में भी explore कर सकते हैं. It's not something the beauty product that you're offering right now. You can
right.
move on to the different product as well. Is it?
Of course.
I'm hearing it
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we can definitely move on to. But like I said, जब यहाँ पे scope इतना है, why should I deviate from the focus
Hmm.
that we have right now?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
moving with this only, and so many things that I wanted to also share with you, like you know,
Please.
the tank process. Like it was, I think, like the overall experience after the tank also, like so much limelight, and the inside ride was like a roller coaster, and how they make you feel. I think they also kind of test your morale, like before you go inside. It's we get very nervous before the doors open. Okay, so it's like you don't know what's going to happen. They don't know who's going to come inside. It's a surprise for them and for us what questions they are going to ask. So no matter what preparations you do are less, you know, before going into the tank, and no matter what preparations you do, your post tank experience before going on air, no matter how much we were prepared that okay, we are ready, if this is the number of orders we get, this is how we are going to
Hmm.
practice it. But the growth was so nice. We got so much traffic. It went like 40x from the existing website traffic.
Hmm.
We were surprised. So jitni bhi preparations kar lo, I would just say they fall short from the experience that you get after the tank. So yeah, all the best to
ऐसे
people who
एग्जैक्टली ऐसा बोलते भी है ना कि जब तक आप करोगे नहीं तब तक आपको पता चलेगा भी नहीं. जितना भी आप
exactly,
सुन लो, जितना भी चीजें आप कर लो, you have to go and you have to been through that process if you really want to
exactly.
feel it.
So even we had spoken to a lot of people from season 1 before going in, but जो एक
Okay.
first hand experience होता है ना, I think when you are inside, तब कुछ भी याद नहीं आता और कोई भी planning नहीं चलती, to be very honest. So
Hmm.
it's just in the moment you need to be present, and uh, just your mind and heart over there, like no preparations come in hand. So I would just say that.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Nitiketa, for sharing the insights. I'm sure that those who are listening us, they will get a lot of, you can say, there are a lot of ideas, a lot of things to work upon, and they will get benefited. I'm sure the ideas, the suggestions, the advice that you have shared, and we wish you best of luck with your brand. And next time, we wish you see you as one of the sharks. I mean, I'm manifesting today.
I wish I'll manifest that.
Sure.
And we are going
Thank
to
you.
use this as a small clip and put it somewhere. This is what I envisioned, on this particular date,
So
25th
next,
February.
let's take it. Let's take it. Let's use this platform. I mean, because these are your initial days. So I'm giving
Right.
you 30 seconds to manifest anything that you want, and let's take it as a responsibility. Once you achieve that thing, then we will take a pride that this is the very first time that Nikita has shared with us and manifested on our platform.
So this year Winston is going to do 30 cr, and next year of course we envision as 120 cr, and after that uske baad we'll be the sharks. Let's just say that. With whole
That's
heart and
wonderful.
whole belief.
Chalo. We wish you best of luck, and we also manifest the same to you.
Thank you so much, Gulshan.
Thank you, Nikita, for sharing your time. Thank you.
Absolutely a delight. All right, bye bye.
Bye. I am Gulshan Memoria, and this is the Inspired Valley Podcast. We hope that you found this episode helpful and informative on your journey towards personal growth and development. Remember, personal growth is a lifelong process, and it's essential to take the time to invest in yourself every day. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or seeking out new experiences, every small step you take towards personal growth will bring you closer to the best version of yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, Please share it with someone who may benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring content and expert insights into personal growth. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.